It's Wednesday, April 5th. We've just started spring break and we're going to go hiking this morning up in Iowa.
So we drove up to Viking Lake, had a nice visit with the park ranger. We're now in the camping area where there are about 120 sites. In 2019, they did a drawdown for a fish project to help concentrate the fish. The lake is only down about a foot, and hopefully if we get some more rain, that lake will come back up. And we're getting ready to start the Whitetail Nature Trail, about 5.5 miles. It goes from one end of the lake all the way around, and we'll end up in the other side of the campground. Beautiful day, a little cold, little blustery, so we're really glad that we have a glove and our hoodies. Okay, so here's the creek that feeds the lake, and as it trickles down into the lake. So we're coming up this incline. It's a pretty good incline. Eventually we'll get to the top. This is where we came from. Goes down into the valley where the campground is. Let's see what this sign says. Okay, it says we're supposed to go to the left, so I guess we go left. So we're gonna head along this way, see where this takes us. So when we came to the fork in the road, we took the bottom road. So this trail looks like it's going to walk us right along the lake shore. The other trail that we could have taken if we had gone straight would have taken us up and around, which jives with what the ranger told us, that there were two trails, an upper and a lower trail on this side of the lake. It's a very well marked trail so far, and a fairly wide trail. I would imagine it would be pretty muddy if there was any rain. So we came down this little rise along this trail. The hiking trail goes to the right. To the left of this point is the campground, and to the right, Viking Lake opens up. So we're going to follow the trail. We could take this trail and maybe take a shortcut back to the campground if we went that direction. We're coming up to a little spit that connects part of the land on this side across a little body of water. So here's the pond. And on this side, you see Viking Lake. Looks like it's an overflow. There's a pipe that would probably spill some water into this little pond if the lake becomes too full. So we're on the trail by the lake. We've seen a flock of turkeys take flight. We saw a white-tailed deer take off in the woods. There are little ponds located around the area. You can see that the water level is still pretty low, but it's very quiet here. When we had seen some YouTube videos from a few years ago when the water levels were all so low, these were almost non-existent ponds. Seen lots and lots of deer tracks, big deer tracks. So there's lots of big deer out here. And here we're winding our way right back to the edge of the lake. Fishing lake, good for fishing. That's why they had drawn down the lake about 4 years ago to increase the fish population, make the fish easier to find each other, I guess. Or for the big fish to eat the little fish and clean them out, or whatever their plan was. Here's 1 mile into the trail. If you look back to the left, that's where we came from. There's the camping areas, or picnic area, and the camping is past that. Up here across the lake, you can see the lodge. The lodge used to be a full-scale restaurant, but in the past few years, they've had different concessionaires, which sounds like it would be pretty nice because it'd be a nice place to come if you were camping. You could get ice cream, you could have a nice dinner out, or get some coffee. But it's not been very profitable, so they now rent this space out. You can have your family reunion there, retirement parties, all kinds of things. So we just came up the trail that leads down to the lake, and we met up with the Red Trail, which is going to take us back around Viking Lake all the way across to the dam and the boat dock, past the lodge, and on to the other end of the campground. So we get up to the top of this hill and we look along, and yep, there's another hill. So I'm not quite feeling that this is a easy trail. I think this is probably a more moderate trail. I'm going to read this sign, see what it says. It looks like we have to break in the trail, and then we're going to cross the dam. So we're going to come up here to the road, and here's luckily another sign. Let's see what it says. Aha! So the arrow pointing back to the right is pointing back from the way we came. So we're going to go to the left. So here would be another place you could come and park if you wanted to pick up the trail. Looks like this is a boat ramp. Large parking area, so my guess is that in the summertime especially, this park sees a lot of boats. I think it's just 5-mile-per-hour limit. I think it would be a fun place to come and bring the kayaks. Here we go, White Trail mile, 1.5 mile trail. I don't know where that means. So here we're picking up the trail again, and we're going to cross the dam. Ron's going to go explore. Danger, high voltage. Please don't touch anything. And here we've come across a little bridge all the way to the dam. At the other end, directly opposite the dam, you're going to find the campground. And there's the spillway. You can see that the lake is still down, so it does need to come up a little bit. The wind is picking up at this end of the lake. Quite a blustery day. So we cross the dam and we come to a crossroads. No signs. However, we're going to go to the left because we think this will take us back toward the lodge and toward the lake. We're still looking for a sheltered spot with a good view that we can have our lunch. So we've decided to stop here for lunch. We got a little bit of a view of the lake, so we're going to take a break. So we're going to show you how to work the Big Agnes Skyline ultralight stool, and we're going to take it out of the bag. You unroll it, put together. The stool has shock pulls, just about puts itself together. Fits right in the pack pretty easily. Once you get your poles together, you're going to put it down, and you see the cover has silver colors and black covers. And you just color coordinate. The black goes on the black side. Like so. And then the silver stretches to the silver side. Oops. Kind of stretch it. And you have an instant stool.
Ta-da. You also have...
We had a nice little lunch stop. We were sheltered in the trees, could still see the lake, which was a nice little break. And now we're ready to hit the trail again.
Now we need is a little portable cabana.
We are not bringing a portable cabana. This side of the lake has a lot of nice little views along the way. It's been a beautiful day for a hike, even though it's been a little nippy up. And here we have a park bench.
The only one I've seen.
The only one, but it says it's number 3, so maybe there are some park benches around this side.
Maybe on one of those spurs.
Right, this would have been the perfect place for lunch. So you see over here, we're going to come up to the boat dock. However, along this trail it's a little deceptive because I think we have to go all the way around the finger of the lake that goes up here to the right before we get to the boat dock. So we're coming up to the end of one of the fingers of Viking Lake, and it's the end that butts up right against Highway 34. So when you're coming in Iowa, you're going to come in on Highway 34 and you're going to turn to a road that leads to the park road. But you can see this part of the trail and this part of the lake is really close to the highway, even though you can't see the lake itself from the highway. Here's another little fishy pond, and then the lake is in that direction on the other side of those trees. Viking Lake is in between Stanton, Iowa, and Highway 71, Villisca. It's in southwest Iowa. You can tell it's spring. If you listen carefully, you can hear the trill of the frogs in this pond. Along this part of the trail, we veered off from the lake a little bit, and we're kind of skirting around the outside. I think we're still on the finger of that lake. I think we need to go back down the other side of this finger to get to where the boat dock is. We get back to the lake. Here's the main body of the lake. We have a beautiful view. As we look back in that direction, we can see the finger of the lake that we walked around. And up here, somewhere, is going to be the boat dock. Here we're coming up from the trail onto the boat dock area. We've gone almost all the way around the lake. From here on, the trail breaks up just a little bit. Doesn't quite make it all the way around connected, but rather connects with small little trails. And here's a great place for a picnic. It has turned out to be a beautiful day. This part of the trail leads from the boat dock towards the campground area. So you could come and park at the boat dock if you weren't camping and didn't want to go to the campground, and hike either in that direction, which is the way we've come, counterclockwise to what we did, or you can do it this way, clockwise. This will take you through the campground, and then you can pick up the trail on the other side. So we came back up here from the lodge. Now we're trying to find a trail that's going to connect us to the campground. So this is the Holtman Trail. Goes in the right direction. So we're going to go this way. So here we're coming up to the picnic area. We're kind of winding our way back towards the campground. And along the shore here, if you look carefully, you can see flocks of American coots get spooked pretty easily. Look like they're running on water when they take off. What a lovely place to come and picnic in the summer. So we just walked through the picnic area, and on the other side of the picnic area we're going to come up to the campground. Ah.
Oh, that was a big one. Okay.
GoPro, stop recording.
I saw
So,
you go down the way to you better.
We took a little nosedive there in a big gully that was covered with leaves. Should have been paying better attention. So this is the picnic area. Looks like there's some sand for sand volleyball. And over here you can see there are some horseshoe pits. And you pick up the trail here that goes from the picnic area over to the campground.
You can substitute bocce ball there.
So this is the road leading into the campground. The site's down by the water. Seems to be a little bit longer. 75% of the sites are reservable. There's an overflow parking lot over here if you have extra vehicles or friends come to visit while you're at the campground. Campsites come with electric, some have water, some have full hookups. The majority of the sites down by the water look pretty level. There are a few that look like they could be pull-throughs, and also a few buddy sites. You have water available if you don't have it at your site. You also have a dump station. Up here on the right, there's an upper campground, which has much smaller sites, not quite as long. We're going to check here for fees. This is the lower campground. I think there are about 120 sites. There's also, it looks like there's a dump station down here as well. There's a little playground over there to the left. And we've checked out some of these sites. This is a pull-through. Here's a couple other pull-throughs to the left. Numbers 83, 84, 85, 86, all the way through this direction looks like some of the better campsites because they're close to the water. They're also long, and they seem to have the best view of the lake. These down here are kind of nice. We kind of like these. The drawback to these is they're a little close to the playground, but I imagine in the summer that's going to be really popular with the kids. We're going to try and see if there's water on the spigots. The water has been turned on, and it is the beginning of April. In the winter, they do turn it off. So we walk back through this area. And you know, it depends upon what you're looking for. If you're looking for something close to the bathhouse, you might want to be over there. If you're looking for a pull through, the middle ones are kind of nice. We kind of like the ones by the lake because you seem to have a little more room in between them. And some people might not want to be on the water. Maybe you don't like the bugs. Maybe you'd rather be over here on the edge. See, these are full hookup sites, which might be why people want these sites. Of course, the more amenities you have, the higher fee you're going to pay, which is normal. We have no problem with that. We also don't have a problem with the fact that we can fill our water tank and then we use the dump station. I'm usually the one that gets the job of dumping because I know how to do it best. I don't think Ron ever learned. But we do like our electricity because the summers in Missouri get hot and muggy. Here's the bathhouse and here's a big white board. So I'm going to check this out. I'm wondering if they either project movies or have nature programs. What's in the shed?
Some kids' toys, a lot of some styrofoam cups, packages of styrofoam cups, table, some little balls over there.
My guess is this is for programs that they do with the kids. Nice. So this is definitely a park that we're going to want to come back to. We're going to walk back all the way around to where we started the trail to see exactly how long we've walked. And we are here back to the beginning. 5.5 miles according to the sign, 2.5 hour hike. And according to our reckoning, we've come almost 6 miles. We did take a little longer than 2.5 hours, but we did have lunch and we took some breaks. And we're not racing to do this.